Can digital sticker artwork become beautiful sublimated notebooks? Today, I'm taking 3 illustrations from my Love in Paris collection and transforming them into custom notebook covers. We will be testing different notebook styles, preparing the artwork for printing, and seeing how everything turns out in the end. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Dani. I'm a digital illustrator, content creator, and a small business owner, and I love finding new ways to bring my artwork to life beyond the iPad screen. If you've been around for a while, you may have noticed I've been a little quiet lately. Life with twins has been keeping me very busy, and balancing motherhood work and creative projects has definitely been an adventure. But I'm excited to finally be back in my studio working on a new project and hopefully sharing more videos with you again. On my previous videos, we have been experimenting with several different products on this channel, from custom tote bags using sublimation and DTF transfers to personalized hoodies. One of my favorite things about these projects is seeing how a simple illustration can become something you can actually hold, use, and enjoy every day. For today's project, I'll be using 3 designs from my Love in Paris collection: a Paris-inspired illustration, a cozy coffee design, and one of my favorite little penguin illustrations. My goal is to create custom notebook covers and see how well these sublimation blanks perform, while hopefully giving you some ideas for products you can create with your own artwork. I ordered a few different sublimation notebooks to test. I wanted to try different styles because if you're thinking about creating products with sublimation, it's always helpful to see how different blanks perform. Both of these notebook styles are actually very similar in size. The covers measure approximately 9.1 by 5.7 inches or 23.1 centimeters by 14.5 centimeters when opened. And once folded, they become a compact notebook that is about 4.3 by 5.7 inches, which is the same as 11 by 14.5 centimeters. Very close to an A-size notebook, making them the perfect to carry in a purse or backpack. One style has a glossy spiral-bound cover, while the other comes with a soft faux leather cover that gives it a more elegant and professional look. I'm really curious to compare how each material handles sublimation and which one ends up being my favorite. Let's open everything up and see what we're working with. My first impression is that they actually feel much nicer than expected. I'm especially curious to see how the colors transfer onto these covers and whether the artwork will stay sharp after sublimation. At this point, I have no idea which notebook is going to turn out best, but we are about to find out. For this project, I'm using artwork from my Love in Paris collection. This collection was originally created as a sticker set and includes several illustrations inspired by cozy cafes, Parisian details, and cute characters. I selected 3 designs that I think will work really well as notebook covers. The first one is this Paris theme illustration. The second one is this cozy coffee design. And the third one is this penguin illustration, which is probably one of my favorites from the collection. Since these designs were originally created for stickers, it will be interesting to see how they translate into a much larger format. That's one of the things I love about creative projects like this. Sometimes artwork can take on a completely different life when you apply it to a new product. Before I could start designing the notebook covers, I ran into a challenge. The original illustrations were actually created for digital stickers, which meant they were designed at a much smaller size and saved as a regular image files made up of pixels. That wasn't a problem when they were being used digitally, but for this project I wanted to print them on notebook covers. As soon as I started enlarging the artwork, I noticed that the resolution wasn't ideal. The more I zoomed in, the more quality I risked losing. I could have gone back and recreated every illustration from scratch at a larger size, but that would have taken a significant amount of time. That's when I decided to try Digitizing's vector art service. I simply sent them my artwork, explained how I plan to use it, and their team converted the designs into professional vector files for me. One thing that immediately stood out was how fast the process was. I received my completed files in less than 4 hours, which honestly surprised me because I was expecting the process to take much longer. If you're not familiar with vector files, they're different from regular images files because they can be escalated to almost any size without losing quality. Instead of being made out of pixels, they are created using paths, which keeps every line smooth and sharp. When I compared my original artwork to the vector version, I could immediately see the difference. The lines looked cleaner, the edges were smoother, and everything stayed crisp even when enlarged to print. What I appreciated most was the attention to customer satisfaction throughout the process. They included free edits if you need adjustments, so you can make sure everything looks exactly the way you want. They also provide a free backup service, which means your files are safely stored in case you ever lose them. Another thing worth mentioning is that the pricing was very reasonable, especially considering how much time it saved me from having to recreate the artwork myself. The ordering process was simple, the payment system was secure, and the entire experience felt very professional from start to finish. Overall, using their vector art service gave me a lot more confidence moving forward with this project because I knew my artwork will print beautifully. Something else I discovered while working with Digitizing is that they also have a design store with hundreds of ready-made embroidery designs, which makes it convenient if you're working on different types of creative projects. They even provide free samples so you can test the quality before placing an order. If you're interested in trying their services, I'll leave a link in the description below, and you can also use my coupon code for 50% off your order. Now that my vector files are ready, I can finally move on to the part I've been most excited about, turning these illustrations into actual notebook covers. My goal isn't to simply place the artwork on the cover and call it done. I want each notebook to feel intentional and visually balanced. So I'm going to experiment with sizing, placement, and different layouts to see what works best for each notebook style. For the first design, I created my Meet Me in Paris notebook, inspired by one of my favorite illustrations from the collection. I kept the design simple, with the Eiffel Tower as the main focus, surrounded by little hearts and delicate details to give it a romantic Parisian feel. For the second notebook, I used my cozy coffee illustration. I wanted this one to feel warm and comforting, almost like sitting at a little cafe on a quiet morning with a fresh croissant and a cup of coffee. And finally, I created a playful notebook featuring my little penguin family. These characters have become some of my favorites to draw, and I love seeing them transform into something I can actually use every day. It's always exciting to see how the exact same artwork can create completely different moods depending on how it's arranged on the cover. One of my favorite parts of creating products in this stage right here, it's where the artwork starts to move beyond the illustration itself and becomes part of a finished product. Sometimes what looks great as a sticker doesn't work in a notebook, and sometimes a design surprises you and looks even better than you imagined. Let's see which of these covers end up becoming my favorite. With the cover designs finished, it's finally time to turn these digital files into real notebooks. This is honestly my favorite part of the process because it's where everything starts to come together. First, I printed each design using my Sublimation printer and Sublimation paper. Next, I position each print on the notebook cover and secure it with heat-resistant tape to make sure nothing would shift during pressing. For both the spiral notebooks and the faux leather notebooks, I use my heat press at 356 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius for 50 seconds using medium pressure. As always, make sure to follow the recommendations provided by your blank supplier, since settings can vary depending on the product you're using. Once everything was ready, I placed protective paper above and below the notebook cover. Position it inside the press and started the sublimation process. This part always feels a little bit magical because you never fully know how the final colors will look until you lift out the press and reveal the finished result. And honestly, I couldn't wait to see how these illustrations will look once they were transferred onto the covers. The first notebook I pressed was the Meet Me in Paris spiral notebook, and something funny happened. I accidentally printed the back cover upside down. Thankfully, it wasn't a huge mistake, and it actually became one of those moments that remind you every creative project teaches you something. After noticing it, I paid a lot more attention when assembling the next two notebooks, and thankfully I didn't make that mistake again. Even with my little printing mishap, I was honestly impressed with how the notebook turned out. The glossy coating on these spiral notebook covers gives them a really beautiful shine, and after sublimation, the finish stayed just as glossy. I was a little worried that heat might dull the surface, but it didn't at all. The colors came out incredibly vibrant and really made the illustration pop. Next came the faux leather notebooks. Before sublimating, I noticed that the cover came with a small piece of cardboard, which I placed and secured on the inside of the cover right along the spine area. This gave that part of the cover a firmer, more even surface to work with during the sublimation process. Once the cover was prepared, I positioned my design on the faux leather and secured it with heat-resistant tape to make sure nothing moved during pressing. Then it was straight into the heat press. And this honestly surprised me even more than I expected. The colors transfer beautifully, the artwork looked incredibly clean, and what impressed me the most was that even after being pressed with heat, the faux leather still felt so soft and smooth. Sometimes you're afraid a material will become stiff or lose its texture after sublimation, but that definitely wasn't the case here. They immediately felt like a much more premium product while still being very easy to personalize. Once all the covers were finished, it was finally time to assemble everything. The spiral notebooks were definitely the easiest. All I had to do was insert the finished covers into the spiral binding and carefully close the wire by hand. It was actually much simpler than I expected and only took a few minutes for each notebook. The faux leather notebook required a couple more steps, but they were still surprisingly easy to assemble. The listing included a very helpful instructional video that showed exactly how to do it. Basically, the adhesive strip comes as a separate piece, so I first tape it onto the inside of the faux leather cover. Then I peeled off the protective backing, carefully lining up the notebook insert and pressing it into place. Whisper, holding you near, chasing away every doubt, every fear. I repeated the same steps on the other side, and that was it. The whole process only took a few minutes, and the finished notebook honestly looked like something I had bought in a store. Like roots of a willow, and you're breathing a rhythm, steady and deep, while the rest of the world was still fast asleep. A slow stretch. The final result honestly looks so professional that you will never guess I assembled it myself. It was quick, straightforward, and gave me a product that looks store-bought. One thing I love about sublimation is how vibrant the colors become. The design doesn't sit on top of the surface like a sticker, it actually becomes part of the coating itself, which gives it a really professional finish. If you're curious about any of the supplies I'm using throughout this project, including the sublimation printer, heat press, notebook blanks, paper, tape, and other materials, I'll leave the links to everything in the description below. Some of those links may be affiliate links, which helps support the channel at no additional cost to you. Whether you're thinking about starting sublimation, creating products for your small business, or simply making beautiful handmade gifts, I'll make it easy for you to find the tools and supplies I'm using. Now that everything is finished, let's compare both notebook styles. The spiral notebooks definitely have the most vibrant colors. Because of the glossy finish, the artwork almost looks brighter and more saturated, making the illustration really stand out. These are simple ruled notebooks, which makes them perfect for taking notes at work, school, workshop, classes, or even including as part of a cute gift box or a stationery set. The faux leather notebooks, on the other hand, have a much more elegant and professional appearance. Since the material has a matte finish, the colors aren't quite as vibrant as the glossy spiral notebooks, but they still look beautiful and very high quality. Overall, I think both products turn out beautifully. They simply serve slightly different purposes depending on the style you're looking for. And I can definitely see myself creating more designs for both in the future. Before we wrap up, I want to give one more thank you to Seed Digitizing for sponsoring this video. Their vector art service made the process incredibly easy and gave me high quality files that work perfectly for those notebooks. I definitely recommend checking them out. Don't forget to use my coupon code for 50% off your order. Now, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which notebook design was your favorite? And what project would you like to see me turn into a physical product next? Should I try mugs, tote bags, journals, bookmarks, stickers, or something completely different? Let me know below and maybe your idea will inspire my next project. Thank you for watching my video. See you next time. Bye-bye.